The silence before the storm for many years, Earth's colonies lived in peace. They had spread across different planets, built cities, farms, and homes. Children were born under alien suns, and humans learned to live in new worlds. Colony Sigma was one of the oldest and most successful. It had tall crystal towers, fast ski ships, and peaceful people. There had never been war there, not even a fight. Then, everything changed. It began with silence. Sigma stopped sending messages. 1 hour, then 2. The Earth Communications Center thought it was a system failure. But when they tried to reach the backup channel, it was also dead. Colony Sigma had vanished from the network. Inside Earth's defense tower, alarms were raised. A dark room filled with holograms showed no signal, no movement. Just black. General Arden, old but sharp, stood silently in the room, his eyes fixed on the empty space where Sigma's status used to shine green. "Try all frequencies," he said. "We've already tried, sir," a young officer replied. No response. "Any ships near Sigma?" "One patrol ship," she answered. "The Helix one. We're trying to connect." Seconds later, a broken transmission buzzed to life. "This is Helix. We're under attack unknown." They came from nowhere. Static. Then one last sound. A whisper. A voice filled with fear. "They're coming." And then silence again. The officers in the room stared at each other. The room was heavy with tension. "Who is coming?" Someone asked, but no one had the answer. News spread across Earth quickly. Families of Sigma colonists cried. Government leaders argued. Panic rose. Some thought it was a pirate attack. Others believed it was just a storm or a system crash. But General Arden knew better. He walked into the Earth Council chamber, his face cold and serious. "This is not a mistake," he said. "Sigma is gone. Destroyed." One council member scoffed. "There's no proof of that." Arden looked at him. "I've seen this before." Everyone went quiet. "Before?" another member asked. "You mean ... the old war?" Arden nodded. "Before peace, there was fire. Long ago, before you were born, before these colonies were even built, we fought them. We won. But we never finished them." "They were extinct," someone whispered. Arden's voice grew low. "We only thought they were." That night, the skies above Earth felt heavier. Satellites scanned deep space, searching for signs. And then, just before dawn, a second colony Beta 9 went dark. No signals. No alerts. Nothing but silence. 2 colonies, gone within a single day. Now there was no more doubt. An attack had begun. Inside a hidden bunker beneath Antarctica, General Arden opened a door sealed for 3,000 years. It was old, covered in warning signs and ancient symbols. Only a few knew what lay behind it. He stepped into the dark hallway. Lights turned on slowly, revealing giant machines covered in dust. They were silent, but powerful. Their eyes were closed, but they still seemed to watch. "Made the first move," he whispered. "Now it's our turn." Behind him, a young officer followed nervously. "Sir, what is this place?" Arden didn't stop walking. "These are Earth's Titans." The officer looked around. The machines were massive. Each one stood taller. Then a building. Their arms were like towers, their chests thick with armor. They had no weapons in sight, but they didn't need any. They were the weapons. "I thought they were myths," the officer said softly. "They were sleeping," Arden replied, "waiting for the storm." Outside, people still hoped it was all a mistake. But high above Earth, hidden ships watched. Their forms were dark and smooth, almost invisible. Inside them, alien commanders smiled. "They still sleep," one of them hissed. "Earth will not survive this time." But they didn't know. They didn't know what humanity had built. They didn't know what humanity had buried. They didn't know the Titans were waking ... Ashes and Echo's colony. Sigma was no more ... The patrol ship Helix 1 had sent its final message before vanishing into the void. Earth's skies remained calm, but beneath the calm was fear. Real fear. The kind that spreads fast and silently like a disease. People on Earth began to panic. Families with loved ones in the colonies screamed for answers. News channels reported the loss of 2 colonies, Sigma and Beta 9. Experts gave theories, but no one truly understood what was happening. Inside Earth's high command, General Arden stood in front of a digital map showing the last known locations of Sigma and Beta 9. Both points blinked red. Everything else around them was silent. No signals, no survivors, no debris. Just ashes and echoes. A young officer named Lyra walked in with a report. "Sir," she said, placing a tablet on the desk. "You need to see this." Arden opened the file. A blurry image appeared. It was taken by an old mining satellite orbiting near Sigma. In the image, strange shapes floated in space. Ships, dozens of them. Black, curved, and unlike anything ever recorded. "They're not human," Lyra said. "I know," Arden replied. "I've seen this design before, during the Titan Wars." Lyra blinked. "But that was over 3,000 years ago." Arden nodded. "And we thought we destroyed them all. We were wrong." Meanwhile, in orbit above Mars, Earth's emergency fleet stood ready. Small compared to what Earth once had, but still powerful. Admiral Cross, a stern and careful leader, received his orders to scout Sigma's last known location. He looked at his second-in-command. "We're walking into a graveyard," he said. Still, they launched. When the fleet reached the Sigma zone, they expected to find wreckage-broken satellites, burned-out cities, maybe signs of life. Instead, they found nothing. The planet was still there, but dark. The entire surface was covered in ash and black scars. Cities had been turned to craters. Forests were now flat gray wastelands. And the oceans? Boiled away. It was as if the colony had been erased. The fleet began scanning. Suddenly, one of the destroyers picked up something under the surface. "Sir, we found movement. Underground." The admiral leaned in. "Survivors?" "No. Mechanical signatures. Alien tech, maybe left behind." Without delay, a small landing team touched down near the ruins. The wind blew ash through the air. Nothing moved. No birds. No sound. As the soldiers walked through the destroyed colony, they saw walls melted like wax, towers broken like sticks, cars flipped over. It didn't look like a battle. It looked like a warning. Then one of them saw it, a symbol carved into the ground deep. And wide. An eye. Not human. Alien. They had done this. Whoever they were. They had returned. Suddenly the scanners went crazy. "Commander, we have movement." 5 clicks out, fast approaching. From the shadows came tall, thin figures in armor that shimmered like smoke. No eyes, no mouths. Just long, sharp limbs and glowing chests. The landing team opened fire, but their bullets passed through like mist. One soldier screamed as a blade of light passed through his body without even cutting, yet he fell. Lifeless. The commander hit his emergency beacon. Back in orbit, Admiral Cross saw the signal blink then vanish. The team was gone. He gave the order. "Pull back, now." As the fleet turned, the dark shapes returned. Enemy ships uncloaking one by one. Black as the void, silent as death. Missiles flew. Earth ships fought back, but they were outnumbered. In seconds, one of Earth's frigates exploded. Admiral Cross's ship shook violently. "We've woken something that never forgot us," he whispered. Back on Earth, General Arden stood in the Titan chamber. The lights flickered as power surged to long silent machines. Lyra entered, pale and shaken. "Sir, the Mars fleet is retreating. We lost 3 ships. Arden didn't look up. Then we are out of time." He walked to a control panel and placed his hand on it. The rune VIBRATED dot around him. The Titans began to glow. One opened its eyes. Blue light poured out, and the walls trembled. "They've erased our colonies," Arden said. "Now we will remind the galaxy who we are." Outside, across Earth, similar bunkers powered up. Hidden deep beneath oceans, inside mountains, and under forgotten cities giant machines stirred. Titans dot, but not all were online yet. One, the largest still, rested in the Arctic ice. Its name was never spoken out loud. It was a legend, a whisper. In old military records, the God Machine. Its time had not yet come, but it was close. And far away, in the darkness of deep space, the alien fleet gathered. They did not know what Earth had prepared. They thought the Titans were lost to time. Now, the ashes were giving birth to fire, and Earth was waking up. Asterisk. The Titans stir beneath the frozen surface of Earth. In places forgotten by maps, something massive began to move. For over 3,000 years, the Titans had slept in silence. They were not just machines. They were symbols of an old war. War so brutal that it was erased from history. A council had buried them, locked them away, and hoped they would never be needed again. Now, they were waking up dot in the Titan control core. Alarms flashed red. General Arden stood before a giant hologram. On it were 7 glowing points, each one a Titan. 3 had already powered up. 2 were halfway ready. 1 was still cold. And the last was the God Machine. "We need them all," Arden said. Lyra stared at the screen. "But sir, we barely understand how to control them. The pilots who once handled these giants are long dead." "We don't need the past," Arden replied. "We need their descendants." He tapped a button, and a list of names appeared, families tied to the original Titan pilots. Generations later, their bloodlines still carried the same link to the Fis. Machines, not by training, but by instinct. "Send the call," Arden ordered, across Earth, in ordinary towns and cities. The chosen ones received the signal. Mechanics, miners, scientists, farmers, none of them knew why they had been summoned. But deep inside, something stirred a calling they couldn't explain. One of them was Jace Ward, a young engineer working at a fusion plant in New Texas. He woke from a strange dream standing on a battlefield, surrounded by giants, lightning. Crashing behind him, he touched his neck. It was burning slightly, glowing with a mark he never had before. Then the message arrived. "Report to Titan Core. You have been chosen." Inside Earth's defense tower, panic grew. The alien fleet had not stopped. More colonies were vanishing. Delta 7, gone. Echo Prime, gone. No survivors. No distress signals. Just shadows. Earth had only days left before the fleet reached the Sol System dot in the Titan chamber. The first awakened machine stepped forward dot. It was called Gravemind, a towering metal figure with arms like war cannons and a chest glowing with blue fire. As its legs moved, the ground shook. Arden looked up. "How does it feel to breathe again?" He whispered dot. The machine responded. Not with words, but with a sound, a deep hum that echoed through metal walls and bones. Not mechanical, alive. Meanwhile, far away, aboard the alien command ship, Commander Threx watched Earth's activity closely. "What are those things?" His second asked, pointing at strange readings coming from the planet. "Old weapons." Threx replied, "We thought they were all destroyed in the Great Purge." He narrowed his eyes. "They've kept them hidden, just in case." The alien fleet began to change formation. Threx was cautious now. Earth had been silent for too long, and that silence had meaning. But even he didn't know what waited below. Back on Earth, 5 new pilots stood inside the Titan. Core, facing General Arden. "You've each been chosen by the machines," he told them. "Not by me, not by force." The Titans respond to only one thing: willpower. Jace stepped forward. "I don't know how to fight in a war." "You'll learn," Arden said. Fast, they were led into the bonding chamber's massive rooms, where human minds would connect with Titan systems. It wasn't like flying a jet. The Titans weren't controlled by buttons or sticks. They connected through thought, emotion, and instinct. Jace entered the chamber of Titan Ironvale, a giant with curved armor and sharp wings. As he touched the glowing control orb, his mind was pulled into something massive, cold, silent. Then, awake, he felt a presence, not a machine, not a voice. Something ancient. It did not speak, but it accepted him. The bond was made. Ironvale's eyes lit up, and it moved. For the first time in 3 millennia, the skies above Earth would see a Titan fly. That night, 3 Titans were launched into the atmosphere. They soared, past the clouds, burning through air like comets. Cities below watched in silence and awe. Children cheered. Elders cried. Hope returned. But inside the Arctic, buried beneath ice and steel, the god machine remained still. General Arden stood before it. "You're the last," he said, "and we need you." But the machine did not respond. Its body was twice the size of the others. Its armor was black and silver, marked with unknown runes. It had no name written in any Earth language. Only a code name, Project Eclipse. Arden turned to Lyra. "It's waiting." "For what?" she asked. He looked toward the stars. "For the right moment. Or the right threat." High above Earth, the alien fleet broke into 3 divisions: one for Mars, one for the Moon, and one for Earth itself. Commander Threx gave his order: crush the humans before their monsters fully wake. The countdown to Earth's final war had begun. But now, the Titans stirred. And Earth would not go down quietly. Asterisk. Awakening the beasts, the skies above Earth were no longer silent. 3 Titans moved like storms with purpose. Gravemind, Ironvale, and Stormcutter, each one awakened after 3,000 years of sleep. Their shadows passed over cities, mountains, and oceans. People stood in streets, watching in awe as the giant machines glided across the sky. For the first time in generations, humanity believed they had a chance. Inside Earth's Titan core, General Arden and Lyra monitored the machines' paths. Across the globe, Titan bunkers were coming online, each one housing a sleeping beast of war. "The pilots are sinking faster than expected," Lyra said, tapping the screen. "It's in their blood," Arden replied. "The Titans remember their ancestors." But something still troubled him. The god machine Project Eclipse remained silent. Beneath the Arctic ice, Arden had ordered specialists to examine it. Teams tried to power it manually, connect to it, even provoke it. Nothing worked. Its systems were online, its core warm, but it refused to move. As if waiting or watching. Meanwhile, in orbit above the Moon, the alien fleet reached Phase 1 of their plan. Commander Threx stood in his dark ship, gazing at Earth through a massive window. "Begin the bombardment," he ordered. "Start with their orbital platforms." Moments later, alien firepower lit the skies. Earth's outer defense grid exploded in flames. Satellites were ripped apart. A deep ring echoed through the planet. As debris fell like meteors. But Earth didn't flinch. Not this time. Above the Pacific Ocean, Stormcutter, piloted by Zara Lane, a former transport pilot, intercepted a wave of alien bombers. She wasn't a soldier. She had no medals. But the moment she touched the Titan's core, her mind sensed perfectly. It was like she'd been born to control it. Stormcutter sliced through the sky like a blade. Its shoulders opened, revealing energy cannons that roared. Like thunder, one alien ship exploded. Then another dot, Zara pushed harder. Let's show them what Earth really is. At the same time, Iron Veil, under Jace Ward's control, entered low orbit. Its glowing wings cut through space, dodging blasts with unnatural precision. 2 incoming, Jace whispered. Iron Veil responded without delay, spinning mid-air and releasing pulse blasts from its chest. Enemy ships scattered. But then, something strange happened. As Iron Veil turned back toward Earth, its sensors picked up an unknown signal. A faint sound, almost like a heartbeat. Coming from the Arctic. From Project Eclipse. At the Titan core. Alarms started flashing. Sir? Lyra shouted. We're picking up something from the God Machine. Arden rushed over. On the screen, a low-frequency vibration was forming a pattern, not mechanical, not random, a rhythm. 1 beat, pause. 2 beats, pause. 3 beats, silence. It wasn't communication. It was testing. In deep space, alien scouts monitoring Earth picked up the same signal. They ran it through their systems. Unknown, unreadable, dangerous. Commander Threx was alerted. What is that? He asked. The technician answered slowly. We don't know. It's coming from under Earth's polar ice. Threx's eyes narrowed. Target it, now. An alien strike ship broke formation and flew straight toward the Arctic. Inside the ice bunker, engineers scrambled to finish their scans. Suddenly, red lights blared. Enemy incoming. One shouted. But it was too late. The strike ship fired a plasma torpedo directly into the ice. The explosion was massive. A white flash. Then silence. Arden stared at the screen. Lyra whispered, Did they just destroy it? But Arden didn't move. He kept watching. Then the ice cracked. First in thin lines, then in massive fractures that split the glacier apart. The frozen ocean bubbled and hissed. And then it rose. Metal, darkness, light. The God Machine. It lifted slowly from beneath the shattered ice, towering above the clouds. Its eyes glowed like stars. Its armor pulsed with power. But it didn't. Attack. Not yet. From deep within its core, something ancient awakened. Not just technology. Something more. Awareness. Back in orbit, Threx's ship trembled. Report. He barked. His officer looked pale. We woke something we shouldn't have. Threx stared at the screen. His enemy wasn't just humanity. It was something older than Earth's colonies. Something born for war. Down below, Arden stepped out onto the balcony of the Titan core. Above him, 5 Titans flew through the sky like gods. The 6th Eclipse stood, still, watching the stars. He knew it wouldn't remain still for long. It's begun, Arden whispered. Now the beasts are awake. In the final minutes of the day, as Earth prepared for invasion, every human could feel it. The air, the energy, the silence before the next storm. But this time, humanity wasn't hiding. They were standing tall, shoulder to shoulder with the giants they once buried. The beasts had awakened. And the galaxy was about to learn what Earth had never forgotten. Asterisk. First strike of the forgotten. The stars above Earth were no longer peaceful. The alien fleet had arrived, thousands of ships blackening the sky, surrounding Earth like vultures around prey. Their weapons charged. Their orders were clear. Wipe Earth from history before the Titans fully awaken. But they were already too late. The Titans had risen. From Earth's atmosphere, 5 massive machines launched into orbit. Gravemind, Stormcutter, Iron Veil, Wraithclaw, and Blazern, each guided by a new human pilot, chosen not for rank or status, but for willpower. In every human city, people watched the live feed. Children pointed to the skies. Veterans cried. Families held each other. They were witnessing not just a battle, but the return of legends. Inside Ironvale, Jace Ward adjusted his neural link. Enemy swarm approaching, came Lyra's voice over the comms. Jace, are you ready? He didn't answer. He felt ready. Ironvale turned, locking eyes with the oncoming alien strike group. Dozens of long, spear-shaped cruisers with glowing red cores. They opened fire. Jace didn't move. He let the Titan do what it remembered best. In one fluid motion, Ironvale spun through space, dodging plasma beams and unleashing a blast of blue energy from its chest. 3 enemy ships exploded instantly. More followed. Near the moon, Stormcutter moved like lightning, breaking through the enemy's side formation. Zara, once a simple transport pilot, was now a war dancer. Stormcutter responded to every flicker of her thought. Its shoulder blades opened, releasing a volley of guided bolts that curved through space like hawks hunting prey. Within minutes, 9 enemy fighters were vaporized. Zara grinned. Not so tough now, are you? On Earth, inside the Titan core, General Arden watched the screens with focused eyes. The battle was turning. Humanity, once on the edge of defeat, was now pressing forward. The Titans weren't just surviving, they were winning, but Arden knew better than to celebrate early. These are only scouts, he said to Lyra. The real force hasn't moved yet. Lyra frowned. And what are they waiting for? Arden stared at the frozen image of Project Eclipse, the god machine, still hovering silently in the Arctic skies. They're afraid, he said, not of us, but of it. Inside the alien command ship, Commander Threx stood with clenched fists. Dozens of screens showed their losses. Too many. Too fast. His second-in-command approached. Our outer wings are collapsing. We've never seen machines like these. They are not just machines, Threx growled. They are forbidden constructs. From a time when even our ancestors ran in fear. Then why not destroy the god? Machine now? The officer asked. Threx looked toward Earth, fear behind his eyes. Because if we fail, we won't survive its awakening. Back in orbit, Gravemind fought like a walking fortress. Its pilot, a quiet ex-miner named Voss, used its size and strength to hold the center line. Alien cruisers smashed against it. Gravemind didn't flinch. Its fists were like meteorites. Each punch sent shockwaves that tore ships apart. But as the 5th wave of enemy ships arrived, Earth's Titans began to slow. The enemy kept coming. Thousands more. The alien mothership finally moved from behind the shadow of Mars. It was massive larger than Earth's moon bases, shaped like a black crescent. With hundreds of plasma cannons glowing red, Threx was done waiting. Fire the core beam, he ordered. A thick red beam erupted from the mothership, cutting through space like a sword. It hit Wraithclaw first. The Titan screamed, not with sound, but through the link in the pilot's mind. Inside, pilot Ilara convulsed, blood dripping from her nose. Her Titan's arm was gone. Half its chest melted. Still, Wraithclaw fought on, shielding Blazern from the next blast. Then the enemy ship surged again. For the first time, Earth's Titans faltered. Down on Earth. Chaos returned. Signals broke. Fear grew. News networks questioned everything. Were the Titans enough? Is this the end after all? Inside the Arctic, Project Eclipse remained still. Watching. And then it moved. One small shift. Barely visible. But the universe noticed. From every Titan across space. A strange pulse echoed back like recognition. The wounded Wraithclaw stood straighter. Gravemind's flames burned brighter. Even the alien fleet paused. Inside Ironvale, Chase gasped. "Did you feel that?" The Titans responded, not with words, but with fury. Their eyes flared, their armor shimmered. New weapons emerged from hidden compartments. They were no longer fighting with half-strength. They were fighting together, as if the God Machine had given them permission to unleash their true power. Zara, in Stormcutter, led the charge. "Now!" she shouted. The Titans moved as one. Stormcutter blinded the enemy with a flash burst. Ironveil swept through with its wing cannons. Gravemind tore apart the command frigates like paper, even the wounded. Wraithclaw took down a heavy battleship before collapsing into orbit. Saved by Blazehorn, humanity's first coordinated Titan, strike shattered the enemy's front line. Commander Threx watched in horror. "We waited too long," he whispered, but it wasn't over. From deep within Project Eclipse, a low sound rumbled. Across the Earth like drums echoing through stone, the God Machine lifted fully into the sky. It didn't need to speak. The galaxy already understood. The forgotten weapon of Earth had finally awakened. And it was looking directly at the alien. Mothership. The ground trembled beneath the Titan's feet as it took its first full step forward in centuries. It was massive, over 200 meters tall, armored in a sleek black metal that shimmered with faint blue lights. Its eyes glowed like small suns, and its hands, each large enough to crush a tank, moved with surprising grace. The moment it awakened, every satellite and ship orbiting New Terra turned to face it. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Not anymore. Above the planet, the alien fleet watched in silence. The command bridge of the Zarn dreadnought buzzed with confusion. The High Commander hissed, "Is that ... a construct?" "No, Commander," the sensor officer replied with a shaky voice. It's something more. It has a core signature, unlike anything we've recorded. It's alive." Back on the ground, General Ayla stood at the base of the Titan, watching it rise like a god from ancient myths. "We built them during the old Earth Wars," she said softly, "when humanity thought the galaxy might one day come for them." Her second-in-command, Captain Ryan, asked, "Why now? Why did it wake now?" Ayla looked to the sky. "Because the galaxy finally knocked on the wrong door." The Titan lifted its arm, and from its shoulder, dozens of ports opened. From them, human-built drones shot into the air, silent, fast, and deadly. They formed a shield around the Titan and began relaying real-time battlefield data. The machine was not just strong. It was intelligent. The alien fleet made the first move, sending 2 squadrons of bombers to strike the Titan from orbit. The sky glowed with streaks of fire, but before the first bomb could hit, the Titan raised its hand. A translucent energy field burst outward, absorbing the blasts. Not a scratch was left. Then the Titan counterattacked. It raised one foot and slammed it into the ground. The shockwave traveled miles. Mountains shook. Old battle ruins were buried under falling rock. The force was so powerful, it cracked the skies. From orbit, several alien ships suddenly lost power. EMP surge. A Zarn officer shouted, "It's disabling our ships, how?" The Titan launched. Not walk-launched. Its back flared with pulse engines, and it flew upward like a meteor, punching through the atmosphere and smashing into the belly of the largest enemy cruiser. The impact alone broke the ship in half. Across New Terra and nearby systems, long sleeping systems awakened. Earth had hidden more than one Titan. Deep under the oceans, another one rose. Covered in coral and rust, it emerged from the sea like a myth reborn. Forests split open as hangars unsealed and giant. Walkers stepped into daylight for the first time in millennia. Humanity was no longer rising. It had already risen. On Earth, the global command transmitted a single message across the human colonies and into deep space. The Titans have returned. This war is ours now. Fear swept through the alien alliance. The Zarn, the Korthik, even the proud Reth species that once laughed at the weakness of Earth now found themselves retreating. The Titans didn't just fight. They coordinated. Like chess masters, each machine moved with purpose, striking strategic targets, disabling fleets, cutting off reinforcements. They weren't just machines. They were warriors of Earth, given metal bodies and old memories. General Ayla boarded a dropship, heading for orbit. She had one more mission, to deliver a final warning to the alien High Council. Her ship approached the crippled Zarn flagship. Still reeling from the Titan's first strike, she opened the comms. "This is Earth. You attacked our colonies, burned our cities, and thought we would forget. But you only reminded us of what we once were, what we still are." A pause. "Now you've awakened our Titans, and we don't put them back to sleep." The alien commander trembled. "What do you want?" Ayla stared coldly into the screen. "You have two choices. Leave or be buried under the boots of giants." There was no reply. Only silence. And retreat. The war didn't end that day. But everything changed. The myth of Earth's weakness was shattered. Across the stars, alien species whispered the name Titan with fear and awe. No longer was humanity the forgotten race from a small blue planet. Now, they were the race that built sleeping gods and unleashed them when the galaxy needed reminding. Asterisk.